Hello everyone and welcome. I'm at Bancroft Mill Engine Museum in Lancashire. It's their steam running day. They've got a very powerful mill engine here, and not only that, they have another engine that came from a mill at Bradley.
I'm Alan. I own a 45-foot narrowboat, have an interest in industrial heritage, transport and technology, and invite you to join me as I cruise, repair and maintain my boat and visit events and places of historic interest. Hello everyone. I know this video won't appeal to you all, as it is for steam buffs, aficionados of mechanical machinery and engineering, and those who would like to see and hear the sound of some wonderful old engines used in textile mills in Lancashire. I make no apologies, as I love to see this old equipment in use, an important part of our national heritage, much of which is run by small teams of dedicated volunteers dotted around the country. You're actually going to see two mill engines in use, one of which has been relocated here from Cross Lane Mill, Bradley, and the other is the original Bancroft Mill engine, which was built in 1919 by William Roberts and Sons of Phoenix Foundry, Nelson, Lancashire. Bancroft Mill was a cotton weaving shed built for James Nutter and Sons Limited, and was the last powered weaving shed in the Barnoldswick area. Barnoldswick is known locally as Barlick. Started in 1915, but delayed by the First World War, it was completed in 1920. At the time, it featured the most modern constructional and engineering standards. It had 23 north light roof bays and was 239 feet long by 198 feet, giving a floor area of 5,269 square yards or 1.09 acres. There were 1,152 looms for weaving plain and twill cloths, ranging from 36 inches to 60 inches wide. The looms were driven from 19 parallel line shafts, the total length of which was about 1 1/3 miles, including main shafts. Upon closure in December 1978, the buildings and machinery were sold for demolition and scrap. Much of the building was demolished and a housing estate developed. The mill pond was filled in and no trace can now be seen. The engine house remained, as it was intended to preserve the engine and boiler plant for public demonstration. In 1981, the Bancroft Mill Engine Trust, a group of volunteers, finally received the keys, and on the 3rd of April 1982, the mill engine ran again at a civic opening. The chimney is about 120 feet in height, has a diameter at the base of about 11 feet and at the crown of about 7 feet. It is made of Accrington brick, estimated to be about 100,000. In 1997, Fred Dibner worked on the chimney and doubled the number of steel bands. Chimney maintenance is a significant expense. The mill engine and rope drive are preserved exactly as they were when the shed was in production. The engine is a 2-cylinder horizontal cross-compound coreless valve condensing steam engine. Compounding the steam is a way of using it more than once. that is, in 2 or more cylinders. The 2 cylinders are named after James Nutter and his wife Mary Jane. Steam from the boiler is admitted to the high pressure cylinder James and expands to move the piston, which is linked to the flywheel. Rated power in 1936 was 500 horsepower, though later tests suggested 647 indicated horsepower. After steam has left the high pressure cylinder James, it has lost some pressure but has increased in volume and passes through a receiver pipe in the basement into the low pressure cylinder Mary Jane. There are 2 boilers, a twin-flued Lancashire boiler, which was the main boiler for raising steam but is now redundant. This was fired by electrically driven automatic stokers made by Proctors of Burnley from coal fed into 2 hoppers through an inclined enclosed Archimedes screw-type elevator. The Cornish single-flue tube boiler was installed second-hand in 1936 to supplement the main boiler and is now used for raising steam at 50 psi. The barring engine is a small steam engine used to turn the main engine to position the high pressure crank ready for starting or for general maintenance. It was also made by William Roberts and Sons. The flywheel used to be turned by hand with wooden levers or iron bars, hence the name barring engine. The flywheel has a diameter of 16 feet. The Bancroft rope drive originally used 13 ropes, of which 9 remain. They are 2 inches in diameter and 82 feet long. The John Pilling and Sons loom of 1926 has been converted to electric drive. It has a 48-hook Jacquard attachment controlled by more than 800 punched cards, a system dating back to 1804, which is used to print the lettering of Bancroft Mill engine down the centre of the tea towels sold in their shop. Punched cards were still being used on computers into the 1970s. The sole survivor of 1152 looms which once manufactured cloth at the mill is this Cooper Brothers loom made in Burnley. We're now going to visit the smaller Bradley Mill engine. This was built in 1901 by Smith Brothers and Eastwood, Valley Works, Bradford. It is a left-hand tandem compound condensing engine with coreless valves. Tandem means the high and low pressure cylinders are in line with each other. Steam enters the smaller high pressure cylinder first, and following expansion enters the larger low pressure cylinder behind. On restoring the engine, it was decided to use only the high pressure cylinder for powering the engine. The engine had replaced an earlier beam engine and may have been the last one built by the company, as it ceased trading in 1902. It powered the mill from 1901 to 1978 when it closed. The mill was then taken over by a manufacturer of office furniture who vacated in 2002, and the site was sold for conversion into residential apartments. The engine was dismantled and transported to Bancroft Mill in 2003, and after restoration ran again on 8th of September 2017.